We're here with Michigan State Hall of Fame coach Tom Izzo. Coach, you worked with Tom Crean a long time ago. He was on your first staff. Tell us about that relationship with Tom and why you hired him.
Well, he was a GA with me first, and that was with Judd Heathcote, but I helped get Tom hired there. And the minute I got the job, he was one of the first guys I called, and he came back. He was at Pittsburgh, I think it was, and he helped me team build this place. I had great staff. I had Brian Gregory, Stan Heath, and Tom really helped me get the thing rolling. And I think our rebounding, our defense, the recruiting, the way we recruited, he was a big part of that. So when I say, head coaches always get the credit, at least the start of things, then they get the blame. But he really deserves some of the credit for what we've done here. And that's why when we won the national championship, I believe I did send him a ring.
Yeah, and then you had to compete against Tom. He went to Indiana, and I remember seeing some really classic games when, Victor Oladipo, I think he had 10 weeks at number 1 at Indiana. What about what Crean was able to do with the Hoosiers?
Well, he did some incredible things there. And if you think it's easy to follow Bob Knight, I was just down there last week, and people are still saying, yeah, I remember when you played Bob Knight, and that's 20 years ago, and that shows what an impact Bob has, which is great, but it's also hard to replace maybe one of the greatest legends of all time. So I thought he did a very good job of that. He had a real good team that was ranked number 1 in the country. Oladipo and those guys were really, really good. I think he built it, too, that it was solid. They got upset by Syracuse, I think, one year. So did we last year, And I think people look at those things and it's never fulfilling. When there's 5 national championship banners hanging on that one end swinging, it's always, expectations are so high. But I see him in Marquette, getting them to a Final Four, but it was an NBA town. In Indiana, getting them to the number 1 ranking, but it was a Bob Knight town, I think even though football is so big at Georgia, I think we've proven at Michigan State, football's big here. Ohio State, Florida. There's been some very good schools that have been dual now. And I think Georgia could be the next one.